and welcome to part 2 of creating custom CMS website systems using PHP and MySQL. And what we're going to do is go into PHP MyAdmin, which is the interface that interacts with the MySQL database we created, and we're going to put in some dummy data. And I like to do that just to see how my menu is going to be rendered, and all things like that, how the body information will look once it's in there, and other things. And I want to make my tables and get everything set on the database end before I get to creating forms that people can use that don't know how to program websites or HTML, the WYSIWYG forms. Basically input text fields, input text areas rather. We'll just use input text areas or WYSIWYGs to take the data from the people, and the forms will be specialized and custom to any way you need them to be, any kind of information you need to take for the system to operate. Okay, so in PHP MyAdmin, here we are on this server. Let's move this down a bit. There we go. And I'm showing all of my information that normally you wouldn't want to show anybody. But this is cool. This whole setup is going to be transferred over to a different setup after the tutorial series. I'm just going to remove this database because I'm paranoid like that, and I'm going to reassemble a new database to hold the data. Okay, so which is easy to do using the export feature right here. See? Export. Alright, now I named mine Mr. Magic Atom, which is kind of gay, I know. I'm a dork like that. And there's the information schema, which comes default inside the database. But here is our database essentially, right there. And what we're going to do is create a new table on it. You can either click it here, or on the home page there, you can click, where is it? Database. I think you click databases, and then you click Mr. Magic Atom or whatever you named your database, and it'll allow you to create a table here. Now the first table, let's just call it pages, because this one will hold all the pages and article type things or whatever, which there'll be mostly those types of things in the database. And let's give it let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's just say 7 for now. No, let's just give it 10. We'll make a few extras. And then, let me shrink this down a bit. And then you can press, where am I? Right there. Then, press go. And the first thing we'll do is make the ID field, which every entry, every page in the system has to have its own unique ID. So it changes from varchar to integer. Values you can leave empty because this is going to be auto increment. So you switch this extra option to auto increment, and that's all we need for that. Let's pull this over so you can see it right here. Make it primary. And that's it for the ID field. Now the next one we'll make page title. Page title, and this one will be varchar 255. Now this one will be our link label. Link label, and we're going to call it that because this is what it will say in the menu, which is different from the page title. The page title will be a little bit longer. The link label will be just a button label or a link label in a menu. Not too many words, maybe a couple at the most. And so the next thing is the page body. Page body. Let's make sure we give this varchar 255, or we'll get an error when we try and create the table, because we need a value in this field if we're going to claim varchar. 255 is the max for varchar. So I just use 255 every time I use a varchar field. I always set it to 255 usually. Sometimes I'll set it down to 50 or something like that, but usually just 255 because that's the max number on it anyway. And page body, text. Now you can use text if the page body is going to be like a normal web page. If it's going to be insanely long, you can use long text or medium text. I think are much bigger than regular text. But I'm just going to use text. It holds a lot. You can check at the PHP lessons, the MySQL lessons rather, at Develop PHP, and it shows how much each of these hold, how much in bytes or characters they can all handle. Some are made for numbers, some are made for holding strings of text, some are made for date, some are made for toggling, like enum is made for toggling between values. Okay, so page body is going to be text, and that doesn't have to have any value here or anywhere through there. And the next thing we'll need is the order that we want it to display in the menu. So we want to be able to order it in case we want to move things around in our menu, have some pages have more priority than others. Okay, now next is showing, and this will be a toggle enum. Let's see what we have. Order, this is going to be int. Let's just make it, we won't ever have to get bigger than 11. It'll never have a value, a length longer than 11 characters. That would be an insane amount of pages. Okay, so page body, that blank enum, we have to have default values in here like it tells us. If field type is enum or set, please enter the values using this format ABCD. So let's just put in a couple of single quotes, a comma, another couple of single quotes. Let's put a 0 here and a 1 here. Oops, and a 1 here. So 0 means false and 1 means true in the programming world. So what it means is if the current value is set to 1, then it's true and it's going to showing. See? If it's set to 0, it's going to be not showing in the menu. And we'll make this a default of 1 because we want it to show by default. The person wants to shut it off, we make a form with a couple of radio buttons on off next to the radio buttons, you know. That's how it works. Okay, so there's 4 extras here, and let's say this is keywords. Yeah, look at that, it's already there. And this one is description. And you can make another one for creation time. Let's say date time, creation date maybe. And you can do modification date, last time they modified it. You can record those type of things, but I'm not going to go very far with this. I'll show you creation date. No, actually, let's just do last modified because that would show everything. But you can do a creation date and last modified. So I'll just have last modified. Let's just make this one extra. I'm not going to get carried away here. Nobody's paying for this. Let's go to extra is going to be varchar 255. We'll decide what we want to do with that later. If you want to add more, they're easy to add. It's very easy to create your tables and modify them within PHP Last modified wants to be date, or you can use date time and it will record the minutes, hour, and seconds. But I'm just going to use date and that will record just the date. And description, that should be no larger than 255 actually. If it's any larger than 255, it'll get cut off. Let's see, varchar keywords, same thing. Page body is text. Okay, we're looking good. For the date, you don't have to have a default value, but you can if you like. Enum, we're set there. It's got a default. auto increment and primary on the ID field. I think we're looking good. Let's see. Okay, let's go save. And we should have a table all ready for making pages. So now if we hit, now what's cool is I wanted to show you guys, if you haven't noticed it yet, if you work in PHP MyAdmin, this create PHP code. Here's the query, the SQL, the raw SQL query it shows you. But once you click create PHP code, watch what happens. Isn't that nice? PHP MyAdmin hooks you up with a line of PHP right there that will effectively create the table. Okay, so let's click pages there, and now here's the structure, and looks like I have everything I need. So now I'm going to press insert. Well, before I put data into this table, let's make another table. So let's click Mr. Magic Atom, or whatever you named your database. You click that right there. I'm going to put another table in it, and the table, this one we're just going to call modules. And let's give this one just 4 fields. Press go. Now here's our 4 fields. Let's give it an ID. Each one has its own unique ID, name, and by the way, auto increment means if there's 1 in the system, the next one that goes in automatically gets an ID of 2. The next one after that gets an ID of 3, and they're all unique, and no 2 can ever have the same ID. Okay, so now we have name for the module, and the module body, let's just call it module body. Hello, module body, and then make this showing too. So this will be enum. That's kind of like a toggle. Single quote, comma, single quote, put a 1, put a 0 in between the first set of single quotes, and there we go. And this is default 1 showing. And let's see, module body, text, and the varchar for the name 255 is good. ID is going to be the int again, and auto increment primary. Make sure you hit that primary radio button there, and that is good. I'm not creating any indexes in these tables really. If you want to learn how to create indexes on your tables, it's very easy. There's index right there. You just make that an index. If you think it's going to be a field, it's going to be really accessed a lot, you might want to use that as an index in the field, but I think mine's going to default to the ID as index. Okay, so let's press save. And there we go. I have both tables that I need basically for the whole system. Now what it's going to be is like modules is going to be something that is not really added to in my system, but you can make it to where yourself or your clients can make more modules and add to that table. But mine is just going to be like containers for the modules, only the ones I set. Pages, on the other hand, is going to be where they can be just added to and created more and more and more and more right on top. And the database will hold many thousands, as many as you can get in there, basically. So now let's go into the pages database, and you hit insert. I'm going to put in some dummy data. That way, on the site, we can go ahead and program to display that dummy data, just to see how things are going to look, and then we'll FTP everything up to the web and test it. Okay, so let's go back to the server here, and we're at insert. So here, if you're at your pages, you're looking at the structure, then you just want to go to insert right there. Now we're going to insert a page. page title is going to be home. Home page, central home page of my magic website. And then the link label, or you can just name the home page My Magic Website. If yours was a hardware store, you would say Jones Hardware. Whatever. Okay, link label on that one to say home, because that's what it usually says for an index page. And then page body. Basically, our index page is going to be one page is going to run the whole thing, the whole shabam. And that's what the beautiful thing is. Wait till you see how slim it is. I mean, once you start adding things, you might get a few more files, but it's really not necessary to have very many files. Okay, so page body is let's say welcome to my home page. Let's say strong. I'm just going to show you how you can just throw HTML right in there. That'll make it bold if you use strong. This is using HTML to make bold style text. Then you just close up your strong tag. Now when this renders out to the page, that little part of the sentence right there is going to be, everything in between the strong tags is going to be bold. You can even make it underlined too if you just put a underline tag in between the strong tags there. See? Now it'll be underlined and strong. So that just shows you that HTML can go right into that field as much as you need. And then ordered by 1. Let's make this a 1. And the next page will be 2 if we want that to show up under the home link. And so on and so forth. And then keywords. Let's just say home page. Let's just say how to build dynamic website. And you can put commas in between there, or you can use PHP to add the commas for you. PHP can just snatch those spaces right up and add a comma and a space. You can do cool stuff with PHP. Okay, dynamic website, MySQL, PHP, blah 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 blah, whatever. And let's put CMS in there too. Now the description is has to be a certain length. If it's too short, the search engines don't like that for some reason. This is my freaking cool ass magic one page huge giant indexing mega beast of a website. Suck on that, hosers. Okay, now last modified would be right now, so you just click that little button, bada bing bada boom, and extra just leave it blank. So that is page 1, and let's make a page 2. Make this page title about, then link label about. Page title will be about this website, about magic websites. And then the page body will be, here is where I list HTML style, HTML or CSS styled data to render my about page. I'll be changing that up later on. Just want to get some examples in. order by 2. Actually, I don't think we can name that order. I'm gonna have to change the name of that, or I think we'll get an error. Order, I think it's it's a reserved name in MySQL, I do believe. I don't think you can use that for field names. I should be spanked on the wrist with a hard, very, very hard ruler. Okay, so now keywords, yeah, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Description, I'm not even going to put one. You can put one if you want. And last modified, we'll put it again for today. Now when we press go, we'll have 2 pages. Make sure this is right. Yes, okay, good. Okay, now let's browse that table. Press browse, and you'll see we have pages 1 and 2, or the home page and the about page. And they have an ID of 1 and 2. And it doesn't matter if they had an ID of 1057 and 1058, or 1000 and 1037. It doesn't matter what their ID, because they're always going to be unique. Okay, so we have everything we need here. Now, all we need is a module. Let's go to modules. It's going to add. I'm just going to go ahead and add dummy data for each module. And it's the same thing with the modules, or modules. I keep saying it like there's an A in between the U and the L. The module. And so there's the same thing. You can put HTML data straight into the module body. See right there? So let's go to insert on this one. And just put up some dummy data. I'm not going to make it officially what I want just yet until I get my forms in place for my little admin center, my back-end admin center where I really facilitate the management of my website, kind of like Joomla and WordPress give you. I'll show you how to make a very basic, very basic admin center. Okay, so module body is going to be links go here to various pages, and the name, this one's going to be footer. I still have to change the name of that other thing in that other table, order. I think we can do that. Okay, so footer, links go here to various pages, and then the next module, this is my custom module. I can put any HTML data here. Let's call this custom 1, showing yes, ID will get auto incremented. We don't have to put any values in the ID field. It'll happen on its own since we have auto increment set. And I think that's it. Let's go ahead and press go. Now we have a couple of custom modules that we made that will be on every page of the site. If you want them to show, you got that showing toggle there. Let's see. Let's go to pages again and change this order, because I really do think that's going to give us an error. Let's change the name of this field here, order. Let's change it to page order. That way we won't have any conflicts, if there happen to be any that come up, because I think that's an assigned name, order. You have to use something like ordering or ordered or page order, something like that there, just so it's not order. Maybe you can't use order by, who knows, but we're going to say page order in that field. Yes sir. Okay, now press save. It's been adjusted. It has a new name. That's good. So that's how you can get adjustments here. You can delete the field altogether. You can use the unique, indexed, and full text if you want to, and also the primary but usually primary is used to the ID field. It's auto increment. Alrighty, I think we have everything we need now. And so we're going to stop this lesson right here. And we'll say in part 3, I'm going to show you how to go into the site programming here and make it render the page menu listing dynamically according to how many there are in the database and what they're named. And then the body of those sections will go here. The body sections for those respective pages will go here. Custom module that I made is going to appear here, and footer is going to appear here. Very easy. And this doesn't even have to be referred to in a database, because guess what? You can just make a form, a regular HTML form in the admin center that would swap that image out. A simple image upload form. And the programming for the PHP would be directed to overwrite this image and put the new one in its place. Very, very easy. You don't even need the MySQL interaction for that one, unless you really wanted to. Okay, so we'll see you in part 3.